Hello, everyone. So today I'm going to be doing my final project on the history of the railroad in Missouri. First, I would like to say the impact of the railroad system did have a large effect on the American society in general. It led to the creation of jobs, travel, and the moving of resources throughout a lot of states. And the great thing about Missouri is that one of the cities that we are all so familiar with became an actual hub for most railroad systems that traveled throughout the United States, and that's Springfield. Springfield became a hub for railroad tracks and railroad companies to travel from city to city. So today I want to speak about the history of the St. Louis and San Francisco Railroad Company, which led to Springfield being a hub for that. Okay. So on April 21st, just a little bit of history about the Frisco. So on April 21st, 1870, the St. Louis San Francisco line started laying its foundations in Springfield for a passenger locomotive. So basically, what this did whenever it was established, it did create a divide in the city. A lot of people were opposed um, to the idea of it, and a lot of people were in favor as well. So what they did is they actually divided the town into they divided the town from North Springfield to Springfield, and what they did is whenever that happened, they named North Springfield Moon City, and then the southern part was Springfield. So whenever they laid the foundations and started building, Commercial Street was the downtown of Springfield, and then Division Street was the dividing street that divided North Springfield and the South Springfield or Springfield, um, and that's why it's called Division Street. A little bit of history about Springfield, pretty cool. With that, the Frisco did help bring tourism in the city after it was finished in 1876. And it brought a lot of tourism. It brought a lot of the Frisco also brought a lot of jobs to Springfield. It brought a lot of jobs to work on the railroad system as well, and that allowed to build from expansion, have people work on other railroad. Like laying a foundation of work to work for other railroad companies or to stay with the Frisco. Um, Basically, um, with that being said, there was um, some expansion and there was competition beforehand, but a little bit before the Frisco, um, this the Frisco actually was called the Pacific Railroad Company, and that was established in 1849. And this was actually the first system that was built in Missouri as well. And whenever the Pacific Railroad did start building tracks, the construction was slowed down due to the Civil War, and then eventually did become the Frisco. Now, I did mention about the expansion of and competition of the railroad system in Missouri. So in 1871, there was this company called Springfield and Kansas City Railroad, and they wanted to basically build a system kind of like the system that was in from St. Louis to Springfield. And so in 1871, they were constructing a line. They started a line from Springfield to Kansas City, and this was halted and never completed by this company. So in 1875, there was a company called the Springfield and Western Missouri Railroad Company that later completed a path to what is now called Ash Grove. Now, 4 years after that, there was a company called Fort Scott Southeastern and Memphis Railroad Company, along with the Missouri River, Fort Scott, and Gulf Railroad Company. They finished the tracks from Ash Grove to Kansas City, which led that line as well. Now, Frisco also did establish from Springfield hubs to or paths to Oklahoma, Memphis, Florida, and Texas, and so on. So in the 1980s, the Frisco did merge with Burlington Northern. And then now today, Burlington Northern is now Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and which is one of the largest freight companies in the United States. So technically, the Frisco is still kind of around a little bit. So that's just a little bit about the railroad system in Missouri. So in conclusion, the Frisco did establish a large basis of what would help bring people to Springfield and to other cities, not just in Missouri, but to and from other states and cities. This allowed to boost the economy and allow job growth. Although at the same time, this system changed the world of all Missourians and everybody in the United States as well. The locomotive flourished and changed transportation and the livelihoods of many Missourians and Americans. And these are my references. And I hope you have a wonderful day and have a great rest of your semester. Thanks.